beginning of the story, which is the size of the opportunity. In terms of capitalizing on the opportunity, you really have to focus on the fact that you can't sort of wash everybody over as being the same. South Asians are different than Asians, which are different from Filipinos. But even within a particular community, you've got to respect the diversity within the diversity. So we have clients that walk in and say, yeah, seeing a lot of Chinese around, want to advertise to the Chinese community. Here's the budget, okay? Go advertise to the Chinese. I'm simplifying it, but it's actually not far from the truth. And the reality is, when somebody says we want to reach out to the Chinese, we go, great. Which Chinese? Are they from Hong Kong? So they're likely to speak Cantonese? Or are they from mainland China and likely to speak Mandarin? Are you talking about first generation? Or are you talking about second generation? Oh, and by the way, there really is no second generation. Wharton School did a study, and we sort of espoused to their philosophy, that instead of second generation, when you're an immigrant, you're a 1.5. I am a 1.5er. Born in Canada, raised in Canada, educated in Canada, look like a Canadian, supposedly speak English. I was brought up in my parents' household, and my dad was an immigrant. And I've got cultural baggage from that. The values, the food, the attitude, it doesn't get erased. My mom was Canadian, but her parents were immigrants. When we were kids, we didn't know about 1.5. We hadn't gone to Wharton. But we used to sort of make fun of my mom was a very smart lady. But we used to say she spoke. We could sort of compare her to my dad, whose command of the English language wasn't as good as hers, having not been born here and had the accent. But we used to say of my mom, she spoke perfect English, but she thought with an accent. And what we meant was, she had European values because she didn't come from Europe, her parents didn't, and she was brought up in that household. Well, that's the same as the immigrants that are here today. So you've got to look at the diversity within the diversity. Are you a regular family immigrant that came to Canada? Are you an economic immigrant that came with money? Are you an international student? Are you a foreign worker? What kind of Chinese are you targeting? So the question of targeting an ethnic group is a little bit more complicated and a lot more focused than it can be. I could probably go on for the entire day, but I know Tamer's looking there with daggers in his eyes, so I'll probably cut it off there. Should I take a question or just hit the road?
You have one question.
Okay, one question. I didn't even get my second set of slides. One question. Does anybody have a question? If not, we'll move on. Sure, right away.
If I had $1 to spend on marketing, or one amount of money, am I going to go after traditional Canadian market, white, established, multi-generational?
So the answer to that depends on what your product category is, depends what your brand is, because you have to have a product that the consumer is likely to want to buy. If all things being equal, if you had a white Canadian and you had an ethnic consumer, and they were both equally as likely to buy, you would probably spend your dollar on the ethnic consumer, because the cost of reaching that ethnic consumer is cheaper. So the same dollar will buy you more media. If you know the question.